Right, Anil. I wanted to do this session. We have about, I think, 10 registrations, but let's see who else turns up. I'm just going to start, okay?
Hmm.
Right. So the landscape at the moment is it's getting a little bit more clear cut in terms of cutting the non-serious from the serious players, right? Because the non-serious ones eventually are going to be left out and then completely out of the industry, and then the serious ones will remain. The serious ones are just, they just need to focus on practically two things. If you want to do more at the back, you come across the right deal, but two things mainly. One is that something that brings cash flow on daily basis. That's your serviced accommodation or hotels. And the second is planning gain. Now, at the back of this, if you want to do a BRR deal or a conversion deal or a development deal, be my guest, right? That's entirely up to you. I mean, to give you an example, I went to see this deal literally 2, 3 days ago. Viewing is booked for Saturday. It is discounted by 32%. We pick it up, we flip it. When I say flip it, it's just painting and decorating. Probably going to cost 5 to 10 grand. We flip it, we make about 60, 70 grand. Pretty easy, pretty quickly. Okay? You can do deals like that every now and then behind the scene, but the main focus needs to be either scaling the serviced accommodation business or either scaling the planning gain business, or you can do both, which is what we are doing, right? So within the serviced accommodation space, we've now scaled it to 100 units. We have 100 units under management. It's a combination of flats and hotel rooms. And it's just very, very simple. We have housekeepers there living at the properties. We have one manager, proximity leverage. We are sticking to one region for now. If we add additional region, then we're going to grow. We may grow in 2 regions, but we're not going to spread out like a lot of people do single rent-to-rent units. We don't do that. We do blocks and multi-unit properties because that's where you can leverage proximity and you're able to afford a manager and then be able to, take time off. We're talking about freedom here. That's what the whole session is all about. I am not a believer of hustle. I am not a believer of working 10, 20 hours a day anymore. I did back in my 20s. I definitely believe that a human brain, if it needs to be creative with what they do, you should not work any more than 5 to 6 hours a day, right? You work any more than that, you just cannot be creative. It's just impossible for human brain, okay? So the least you work, in fact, with me, and my observation has been, the less I work, the more successful I become, okay? Because it just gives me more time to introspect, to reflect, and see what's actually working and what's not working. And that allows me to go 80-20 in the sense of what 20% works and what 80% doesn't work. So I am a big believer in not working and not hustling a lot. Keep it simple, less work, more creative work, more smart work, and you go ahead with that. Anyone who says, you got to hustle and you got to work hard, they just don't know money, okay? Or they don't have money, or they just don't know how to make money creatively, okay?
But sadly, most people in this space don't have money.
You mean in property?
Yeah, because most of them have gone to these training courses where they
That's
spend
going to be
10,
the case.
20,000 pounds.
That's going to be the case in pretty much every industry.
And they waste their money.
That's going to be the case in every industry throughout the NDSA. One thing that I do share with everyone is we provide all property trainings covering every single strategy for absolutely free. Absolutely free. We are the only one in the country not charging for trainings. Okay. But within the space, like I said, what works is focusing on cash flow. And then the other side of the coin is focusing on making lump sums from, development deals or planning gain deals. Okay. I'll give you an example on the one that we did. We took an option agreement on a really large detached house in Wembley.
Yeah.
We only paid £1. Delayed completion 24 months later. Eventual agreed price 1.1 million. We applied for planning, got planning for 8 units, that's 6 flats and 2 semis.
Yeah.
We sold the option without exercising the option for 1.7, making a £600,000 profit by investing only 20 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were looking at a similar deal in Surrey.
So when I was asking you, as in, Why do anything else if you can make money like that? To me, in my sense of mind, nothing else makes sense. If you can do deals like that, even one a year, you're good to go,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So focusing on the 80-20 rather than trying to make, money like grind money, I am not a believer of that. Also, you gotta remember, so looking at both strategies, either it is planning gain, either it is scaling your blocks and hotel management under you. That's where the focus needs to be. The critical part or the important part which most people struggle with, it is negotiating. Well, first what they struggle with is to be able to see through a deal and see if it's profitable or not, which we can teach through our trainings, and then be able to negotiate the deal. That's the second part most people struggle with. And then the third thing they struggle with is making sure that it does become profitable, because if you don't have leadership skills, even if I was to give you a deal that is profitable, you probably end up with a loss, just because you don't know how to first recruit the right team and then be able to effectively lead a team. And again, it just goes back to the research that was done by, I think, Napoleon Hill Foundation, where 80% of your success really depends on your interpersonal, as in your leadership skills, rather than the technical skills which people talk about. So focusing on these two really matter. At the same time, like I said, when you come across this BMV deals, and Anil, correct me if I'm wrong, do you know how to find below market value deals online? Anil, you muted.
I tend to do that now using AI and all that stuff. But
No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I'm going to share my screen because this is recorded. I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you literally within less than 5 minutes. You can use Zoopla, you can use Rightmove, you can use Property Deals Insight, you can use Property Filter, you can use Land Insight, Land Tech, or you can use Nimbus Maps. But if you want to just use free stuff, use Zoopla and Rightmove. I'm going to share my screen. And then literally on daily basis, you can find 10, 20 deals. Okay? I'm going to share my screen. Now, this alone can make you 10 million, 20 million through your life. Okay, can you see my screen, Anil?
yeah,
Okay, so which area you want me to cover? Give me a postcode or the name of the region.
just take HP 14, for example.
HP 14. Okay, we are in HP 14. And the number of properties are 7,907, property being flooded, property market being flooded by all the problems that we're facing at the moment. And all I'm going to do is click on this and say, oh, they've changed that actually. Okay. Type. Okay, I'm going to take you back to property filter, because I think Zoopla has changed this filter. They're being clever. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you something that's going to be paradoxical for you. Wait, it's actually interesting what's happened here. So what Zoopla has done is they've removed the filter, while the same data goes from Zoopla and Rightmove into property filter, and they're able to show that data that Zoopla could show you for free, while property filter is charging for that. Gets very interesting. And they changed, the Zoopla has changed the filter lately, because I think I checked this about 3 months ago. But property filter I checked only 2 days ago. So you said HP 14?
Yeah. I hope they're not the same people.
You mean property filter?
Yeah.
And Zoopla.
And Zoopla.
No.
They're charging you here. They're not charging you there.
I will not be surprised if they're invested behind the scene. But from my understanding, they're not. Okay.
But all these large corporates, I come across it all day long. Yeah. They're different brands, and one brand will be for 50 quid, and then the other brand will be £500. Exactly the same product.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look here, you can see -6%, -5%, -4%. And if I keep scrolling through, you're going to see properties that are -20 and -30%.
Okay.
Can you see -25%?
Uh-huh.
Now that's a £3 million deal.
That's a 3 million deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So -13%, -16%. That's minus
Let me just
13%
look at
is.
let's take that one. Reduce to -13%, 225. Let's take.
I'm gonna click. I was gonna click on that. Yes. So this is in HP 14. This is a leasehold. It looks like a flat. It was initially put at 260, and now it's at 225. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to the main page.
So I'm just watching. How many bedrooms is that?
It's likely 2-3 bedroom.
3 bedrooms immediately. Okay.
Just give me one sec. I can go back to the deal list, no problem. Yeah, it was this one, I think.
Yeah.
This is a leasehold, 2-bed, 1 reception.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that here, 2-bed, 1 reception.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack, if you just hold on to that, that says about 225 now. Okay. So that's HP 14 for PZ.
That's right. Yeah.
Definitely below market value.
Yes, it
I'll say
is.
that.
Yes, it is.
I'll say that
No doubt.
definitely below market value.
I'll share the screen back again with you, but I want to share something so you can see through. Okay. The reason these properties are on the market below market value, there are multiple reasons. One, basically personal stuff, probate, divorce, ill health of family members, a whole bunch of reasons that human beings face, right? At the same time, some of these people that are selling these properties on discounted rates, purely because the market has changed, they are in negative equity, okay? And they just can, or their mortgage has gone up and they just can't afford to pay, or their credit file, they missed a payment, their credit file is bad, they've gone back to the mortgage provider, and now they've been quoted 7, 8, 10%, and they now can't afford to pay. So just put it on the market. All they want to do is just get rid of the property. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's a whole bunch of people like that in the property industry. They've missed a payment. They've gone back to the lender. I'm a financial advisor, so I know all of this stuff. So when they go back to the lender says, you know what, I'll give you 7% deal. 7%, they can't afford to pay. It's very, very simple. They'd rather just sell the property, rent out, that's going to cost them cheaper, and that's the end of it. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of personal reasons, but that's the main reason. Okay, I'm going to share the screen back again. And imagine if you do deals like that on monthly or yearly basis.
So what's the deal here?
It's 13% discounted.
I know. So
just take it.
What are we going to do with this?
Take it.
So
I mean, you buy this, you hold on for 5 years.
And that's what I wanted to find out.
Yeah. Wait, it gets interesting. I'm just going to scroll through a bit. Just give me one sec. And I'll tell you where a flip deal might be. This deal is just purely buy and hold. Okay?
Okay.
Because the stamp duty actually starts to kill, right?
It does.
What's that?
I said it does.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share with you deals that you can actually flip very quickly. Even with the stamp duty, you can flip them.
So it is 225 though, Jack. You would still
it is 225.
Like only 1%, right?
What's that?
Your only stamp duty would be only like what, 1%?
No,
if it's your second property, it's going to be 5%.
It's going to be 5%.
5%.
225. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be 5%. Okay, and now I'm going to change the postcode because in this postcode I can't find a lot. Okay, I'm going to change the postcode to mine, for example. Okay, I live in SL4, which is Windsor. Okay, now go back, view properties. Now these properties that you're looking at, they're actually all the data from Rightmove and Zoopla. Okay, it's not a data that's not available publicly available. It is, but at the same time, they've lately changed that filter. So you can do this on Property Filter. You can do it on Property Deals Inside. So now this is Windsor where I live. SL4 is where I am can you see this minus 23%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now a deal like that, even if you pay 5% stamp duty or 7% stamp duty, whatever that might be, you're still left with about 14-15% margin there. Okay, you can actually go and flip this. Are you
So
with
this
me on
is
this?
525,
Yeah.
2-bedroom.
It's a residential, it's a freehold, it's a house. It's a house. Okay, I'm going to carry on. This is minus 10%, minus 11%, minus 23%, but that's a 1.35 million.
So what's your filter there?
There's no filter. These are all the filters on top. Can you see that? All available, back and reduced, back in the market, reduced, available, and there's a filter here.
Okay, so that's
which
what it is.
also,
Longer availability and back in the market. Yeah.
and there's a filter here which also shows you deals with BRR, buy to let 2 and 3 beds, 20% BMV, HMO existing or potential, existing HMOs. You can go through the whole new refurb.
How much are they charging these guys? Property filter.
I think they're like 100 quid a month. Okay.
Mm.
Again, that's not the point, Anil. What I'm saying is, imagine you do deals like that. Look at this, minus 32%. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This is the one I'm talking about. This is the one I'm going for. Okay. I actually did the due diligence on this. This is worth about 300. We buy it at 220. The stamp duty is 13 grand. Legals, 2 grand, 235 cost. We invest about 5 to 10 grand just to, do like painting, decorating, and we can flip it at well over 300 grand on this. Okay. But there's other deals like that as well further down. Okay. And then you can do the filter through, this as well, which is BRR. Does BRR work? The filter, does it work on property filter? Not all the time. You do have to spend some time on this because even though it does say BRR, most of the times when you click on it, you're not going to find a deal. So it's almost like you have to keep an eye on things and, save searches and so on. So you start to get a few emails on that. Okay.
Yeah.
But it does work on the BMV. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing. Now, going back to what I said earlier, you focus on taking on blocks, taking on rent-to-rent units. I am not fond of single units unless you're planning to scale past a certain number. And then you obviously have a manager in place that allows you the freedom. I am not fond of single units. So my focus is mainly blocks and hotels. At the same time, flip the coin, make lump sums from larger property deals, planning gain, main focus. So you don't physically have to pick a brick. You don't have to physically get any work done. You don't have to deal with a builder. All it is paper exchange, planning gain. You uplift the value of the land or the property and you exchange that paper with someone else.
So the biggest problem with planning gain at the moment, one is biodiversity.
I'm aware of that.
And the second one is Gateway 2.
Sorry, what?
Gateway 2?
Gateway 2?
Yeah.
I'm aware of both. Okay.
Yeah. And nothing in London, hardly anything has got through on high rises in the last year.
I'm not talking about high rises. Okay.
So
I'm talking about.
Could we just go through those two scenarios because I'm not aware of.
I'm not going to cover that. They're technical. I can share them with you later. Literally, Anil, go on ChatGPT or Grok, write these, and you will get. Biodiversity and the water issues has become a problem just lately. Okay, so you can
since April 2024.
In fact, I actually share a list, Anil, which is the abnormals list. Do you remember that? Yeah, it's actually in there. Both of these are in there. Okay, and you can check this information online. Like I said, this is not a technical session. We can do technical stuff later. But I'm not talking about high rises and this area. I'm talking about just larger plots. You apply planning, you get planning for 4 to 9 units, and you move on.
I mean, ideally, if you're going to develop or do anything, you need to keep it below the requirements for Section 106 and SIL.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So below 9 units, you keep it below 9 units, and you can walk away with anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to £1 million just in planning gain.
Yeah, I mean, this particular deal that we had in Wembley, If we sell it to a private developer, the seal in Section 106 is 1.5 million. And the HA gets exemption.
The HA gets this exemption. Okay. Okay.
So the key is
I-
to keep it below 9, you say, yeah?
Yeah. So if it goes over 9 units, social housing kicks in. So you have to then give it for social housing, which makes that it actually kills a lot of deals. Okay.
Most
So it's
deals,
better
there's one in Mitcham, and they, I think it's about 300 units, and the council have just approved it for all private because the numbers just do not stack up.
And they wanted houses.
Yeah.
And they wanted more properties. Yeah.
So
It happens all
come
the time.
April, if a HA comes along with some money, they'll revert back to Section 106 units in there.
I hear you. But like I said, we don't look, the bigger the deals, the longer they take, the more painful they are. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
It's easier to
years
stick
and years they can be stuck there.
Yeah. So I know personally a person who's been sitting on a deal for the past 5 years. Right. Yeah. I am not a big fan of that. I would rather do smaller deals up to about 9 units and move very quickly on these and make money out of it. Yeah. Okay. But at the same time, like I said, the purpose of this session is that focus on your blocks and your hotels for your cash flow. Focus on planning gain as making lump sums. And then at the back of that, if you want to do a below market value deal, you want to do a small conversion, you want to do a smaller development. We just did 3, commercial to resi in Hammersmith. You want to do deals like that. You can do them behind the scene, but your main focus needs to be very, very simple, very quick. You want to focus on something that monetizes fast. Okay. And when you look at block and hotel management, they close faster. They're a lot more faster to optimize. To give you an example, I literally manage 100 units and I work about 2 hours a day. Okay. And the reason for that is the whole team of virtual assistants in place, the whole team of housekeeping teams in place, one single manager, done and dusted. It keeps me away from working, long hours. We still make all the money. That's all set up in a way where it's all delegated. All I do is, oversee, make sure the money is there, make sure the reviews are okay, make sure that the vacancies are okay. But that's all I do, like I said, a couple of hours a day. Okay. Besides that, then I start looking at development deals, below market value deals, conversions behind the scene, deals that close faster, not going to take too much time, and are not going to be painful in the planning journey either. Okay,
so
that's where the focus needs to be.
With the BMW properties, what are you doing with it? Like, you obviously not buying them yourself, right? Are you actually like sourcing them to someone, or are you buying it yourself?
So this one I'm thinking of buying myself.
Okay.
Okay. Just give me 1 sec. I don't know why my camera has zoomed in. Decided to zoom in. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So on this one, I'm buying this myself. At the same time, when I come across deals like that, I actually have about a handful of people I work very closely with who would take on these deals. So all I need to do is pick up the phone, call these about 5, 6 people. And in most cases, if I don't want to buy it myself, they'll take it off from me very quickly, very easily. Okay. And I tend to charge an overage rather than a percentage. So if I'm going to make you 100 grand in profits, I'm going to walk away with anywhere between 10 to 20%, depending on the negotiation. Okay. So I'm going to charge you 10 to 20 grand. If I'm making you £1 million, expect me to charge you at least minimum 10%. That's 100 grand. Okay. I'm not going to give you the deal if I'm not going to make 10%. It's done and dusted. Okay. But at the same time, you got to keep it simple in terms of looking at a deal, thinking, first of all, knowing what does a deal look like? Where are the profits? Second, either it is a serviced accommodation deal, a block, a hotel, either it is a planning gain deal, either it is a BMW deal, either it is a conversion development deal. Is it profitable or not? That's the first skill you need to learn. Second skill is negotiating the deal. My understanding and my observation has been that you could be a really good negotiator, but if you've not negotiated a certain kind of deal, you're not going to be good at it. So negotiation in itself are very contextual. That means if you are talking about a hotel deal, you need hotel negotiation skills specifically. Okay. Hi, Rajesh. If you are negotiating a planning gain deal, those skills are different from negotiating a hotel deal or a block deal. And they need to be, you need to be very specific and skill up in that space. Because a lot of people come to me and say, well, I've worked in sales for 20 years. But when you ask them to go and negotiate a property deal, they start to struggle. Okay? Because the kind of words you need and the kind of language you need to negotiate a planning gain deal, a conversion deal, or a hotel block deal, either it is an option deal or either you're actually buying it, the words are going to be completely different. Okay? So you need to be very specific with the negotiation skills you use for every single strategic space that you look at. Okay? At the same time, once you negotiate the deal, now being able to hire the right team, as in being able to see through a person that you're going to hire, either you're going to get someone in-house or you're going to get a contractor, being able to see through that person, learning that skill. It takes experience. You're not going to learn it by me sharing on a training program unless you're actually coming and shadow someone like me or someone who's a bit more experienced, right? Being able to see through that. The number of people who come to me and say, well, I'm going bankrupt because of my builder, are unbelievable. Okay? Why did you not have a very strict contract in place? Okay? Why did you not speak with loads of builders? Right? Why did you not get loads of quotations? Right? All sorts of things. Why was a builder chosen based on technical skills and not attitude? Okay? There's a whole bunch of things, right? So, point is that it's not just one skill that you need, being able to see through a deal, as in, is it profitable or not, very quickly, within 5 minutes. If you put a deal in front of me, a development deal, a conversion deal, planning gain deal, block deal, hotel deal, it takes me 5 minutes to be able to see through a deal. And the skills that I've learned has taken me well. I started when I was 14 years old. I'm 45, so 30 plus years. But in property space, I've been working for since 2003, so 22 years. So it's taken me that kind of time to get to a point where I'm able to see through a deal. At the same time, like I said, being able to negotiate a certain kind of deal, being able to see through a person, the kind of contractor you're going to hire, the kind of tradesmen you're going to hire, either an architect, either a planner, either, doesn't really matter what kind of professional you're going to hire, makes a big difference if you're going to actually come out profitable or you're going to make a loss. Okay? So those skills are very, very important. And a lot of trainings that are given, the reason they don't work is because the focus is not on leadership skills. The focus is not on persuasion skills, negotiation skills, sales skills. The focus is on technical skills, which can be learned these days from ChatGPT, for that matter. Okay? But what you can't learn from ChatGPT is leadership skills. What you can't learn from ChatGPT or Grok or all these AI tools is negotiation skills. That's something you need to be able to come and shadow someone to be able to learn and see for yourself how to close a deal.
There's three areas in my experience. Yeah, the most important is mindset.
Mindset is very cliche. It's a very broad word to use.
Well, I see it all the time. I talk to clients day in, day out. Yeah, and within seconds, you know if they've got the right mindset. Either you're open mind or closed mind.
Yes.
Yeah? And the second thing is taking action. Most people don't take action.
Makes a big difference. I know. I know at least 8 out of 10 people don't take action, and the reason for that,
95% don't take action.
No, I think it's 80-20.
Can I just say? Sorry, Jack.
Let me finish this.
Okay.
So the reason they don't take action, there's actually a psychological reason behind it.
Of course.
And the psychological reason in most cases, not all cases, but most cases, is fear. Fear of losing out.
Anyway.
Now, how do you tackle that fear? How do you tackle that fear? Right? Here is my take on tackling fear. Right? Fear, it literally is, and may sound cliche, you might have heard it, it literally is false, right? In most cases, it's just you talking to yourself and creating that fear internally. In most cases, it's just false. So when you start to take action,
they're reluctant to step outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, so what you go, you look at a deal, you've learned how to appraise the deal, now go and close it. And in your first deal, your aim is not to make a profit. You're in your first deal, your aim is to break even. Once you break even on the first deal, the likely is on the second deal, you're going to make a little profit. On the third one, you're going to make a bit more profit. By the time you get to the fifth one and the sixth one, you will now become what you call the 20%. Now you'll be able to see through and become that 20% who can actually make a profit from a deal that may not have been even profitable. You'll be able to dig profits from it creatively. Does that make sense? Okay, raise your hand if you know what I mean. When I say creatively digging into the deal and bringing profit out of a deal where they never existed. Okay, like literally looking at the deal and thinking, we can go into the loft, we can go to the back, we can build an extra house at the back, we can convert this into not 2 flats, maybe 3 flats. Okay, something along the lines, right? Where you start to become more creative as you go along when you do the deals. But on your first deal, you should not think about profits. All you want to do is get some experience on board. And if you're still scared, if you're still scared and you still don't want to put your money, then go and shadow someone who's doing it on a regular basis. Simply go and shadow and say, well, I'll work for you for the next 2-3 months for free. And let me just go and shadow you. And go and shadow someone like me. And you'll see me how I'm closing deals. Simple, right? You don't have to go and pay someone and say, well, can you mentor me? Can you let me shadow you? No, you come to someone like me, or I'm pretty sure lots of other people. I'll work for you for 2 months for free. Let me come and shadow you. Most people will say yes. At least those who are open-minded, they'll just say, yes, look, you're going to work for me for free. You're paying for yourself anyway. Come and shadow me. Okay? So it's all about really just taking action, not expecting a lot from your first few deals. And then you start to grow from that to a point where you'll be able to dig out profits from deals that never existed. To give you an example, we closed this deal. It came in the market at 350. We got it at 220. The reason for that was they were scared through the COVID period. It was an operational bed, 20-bed hotel. It came in the market, they were scared of the COVID period. They were struggling to pay bills. I went in. It was a retirement sale. And obviously scared of COVID and so on and so forth, losing money. We went in, bought the deal at 220. We spent about 65 grand on it. So 285 in total. And now it's worth £500,000. We rented out the hotel for £47,000 a year. I'll let you do the numbers. We only paid 220. And not just that. I took the keys of that hotel back 3 months ago. It has now gone from a 20-bed operational hotel to now a 29-bed operational hotel. We added 9 more rooms to it, increasing the whole revenue and the net bottom line profit massively. Okay? And it is all delegated. I do very, very little for it. And it just brings us the money, I would say about 90% passively, 10% I'm still active and obviously looking after everything behind the scene, just overseeing things, okay? How do you deal with landlords or invite who are not serious or time wasters? Unfortunately, Rajesh, you're going to kiss at least 90% frogs.
They're time wasters.
Before you get to the 10% serious ones. There is nothing you can do. Here is one thing you can do, okay? Here is one thing you can do. When you have a funnel in place that actually asks loads and loads of questions qualifying people, okay? 90% of the time wasters actually never fill that. But that also means that when you have that funnel, your CAC, which is customer acquisition cost, rises massively. So you could acquire a customer for, let's say, £20 or £30. But if you start filtering people with a really long form, that cost of acquisition could go up to £1,000 per customer. Now, the question is your product, whatever you're productizing, is going to pay you more than that? Okay? So yes, people can be filtered. And yes, you don't have to kiss lots of frogs. But at the same time, your customer acquisition cost is going to jump by about 1,000 times, if not more.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay? I hope that answers your question, Rajesh.
Absolutely. I'm back after a long time, and I'll be active on the group very soon. Sorry, I know I've been away.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had a
So,
new contract, and it's literally taken over my life. I want to get
mhm.
back into property from the new year, and I
Okay.
will be more active on your pen thing as well. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
why I came today. I wanted to make
Okay.
sure I didn't miss this, you know. And you're looking good, by the way. You're looking young. Have you been?
Thank you.
It must be all the property deals you're doing.
I bought a magic machine. I sleep in it, and I'm reversing age.
Can you send it to me?
It's gonna cost you £1,000,000. I paid only £1 for it.
It'll be worth it.
I only
You
paid
don't.
£1 for it.
You don't look a day over 25, Narendra.
Plus the rest. You can
All right.
multiply that by about 3.
Yeah. All right, guys. I just want to welcome everyone else. Kemi, peace. Good to have you here. But I know some of you kind of joined late. This is recorded. So if you want to watch the recording later, be my guest. I will share it in the groups. But it's just keeping it simple. You know, on one side of the coin, you've got your service accommodation business, block and hotel management. I'm not fond of single units, like I said earlier. And at the same time, you know, that would generate you cash flow. I work, like I said, about 2 hours a day, you know, overseeing our operations on the service accommodation side. We have over 100 units under management. And then at the back of that, we focus on planning gain and BMV deals and conversions. Main focus is planning gain, but again, we do look at BMV deals, conversions as well, and developments as well, every now and then. And then we make lump sums from that. That needs to be the main focus. But here is something that I want to share with everyone to why and how we are able to, as a company, provide all property trainings for free. We are actually the only company in the country doing that, providing all property trainings covering every single strategy, at least most strategies, for free. And the reason we are able to do that is because what we've decided is to provide services behind the scene rather than actually charging for trainings. So the services that we now provide behind the scene, obviously we are a franchise. So if you want to join the franchise, let me know and I'll share the page link with you. Also, if those of you who don't have access to the trainings that we provide for free, send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll give you access. That's 07886962647. That's 07886962647. Send me a WhatsApp message. The reason I'm sharing this number is obviously to share with you all, but at the same time, this is going to have a long tail. This will be shared on the portal, so people will call me, message me long tail of the content. So when you send me a WhatsApp message, I'll be able to give you access to all the property trainings. That's well over 10,000 man worth of property trainings for free. And now you might ask me, what's the catch? No catch. We've decided to give all trainings for free, and we provide services at the back of this. So we are a property franchise. When you come and join us, you can not just that you come and shadow us. We will generate the leads for you. We will negotiate the deals alongside you. We will also give you virtual assistant, as in trained virtual assistants, UK trained virtual assistants that will help you on your journey. Yeah, that's where we are. So we will not just, like I said, come and help you. You know, you can come and shadow us, but at the same time, we'll close deals alongside you, as in negotiate deals alongside you, appraise deals alongside you. And we have lots and lots of a very good ecosystem in place to be able to, in fact, a very unique ecosystem in place to be able to increase net profits on block and hotel management deals. We get loads and loads of direct bookings, so we pay a lot less commission to these OTT portals or online portals like Airbnb, Booking.com, and a whole bunch of other portals.
When you say hotel management, are you talking about short lets like SA, or is it totally different from that? Because I know you've been doing that for a long time.
So hotel management is hotel management. Okay, so managing hotels, you take these hotels on either on a rent-to-rent basis or on lease basis, and then you're managing the hotels. Managing a hotel in comparison to service accommodation, it's pretty much similar, right? There's not a lot of difference, okay? We manage blocks of flats, we manage hotels, and we have a very, very good ecosystem in place. So when you join our franchise, we can actually manage your hotel and or block on behalf of you. allowing to improve the profits, as in increase the profits from anywhere between 10 up to 50%, as in 50%. Okay.
Your franchise? I know you've been doing it for some time.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
on your website, or can you send me
It is,
details?
yeah. So I
I'll
will
check
share with you. I will share
Yeah.
with you a link. I actually have this open somewhere. Yeah, it's yeah. I'll put it in the chat box.
Thank you, Jack. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. So I've just shared the main franchise page link in the chat box. I'll also share the support services page in the chat box, which is what we are doing right now. There are companies out there charging $5,000 just to do due diligence on development deals. You can get them done for 1/10 of the cost, as in starting from £500 to do due diligence or feasibility study on a development deal with us. Okay, so we're cutting down the cost of feasibility study by about staggering 90%. It's the same with hotel and block management, feasibility as well. We have managed to basically cut down the cost of feasibility study by about 90%. Okay. At the same time, even within our franchise, we literally are very, very unique in terms of our franchise. We focus on planning gain. We generate the leads for you. We focus on block and hotel management, so you can make lump sums, as well as you can make daily profits from your service accommodation business or hotel management business. And at the same time, like I said, we negotiate the deals alongside you. That's where we are. We're also creating a couple of, 3 different SaaS products behind the scene, which is software as a service within the property space, which will be launched very, very soon under us as well.
You know the platinum package? I've just checked that out.
Yes.
So that's $199 per month, and then the 10K training fee.
That is right. Yes. The 10K can be paid in installments, starting from $2,000 the first time, the first day when you join. The rest can be paid in installments, but it is $199 per month to join the platinum one, and then you obviously see the next one as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll have a look at it. Thank you, Jack. It's really nice.
Thank you, Rajesh. Any questions? I'm just going to go through the list. Anil is already a member. Anil, any questions from what I just shared with you?
Nothing from me, Jack. Yes, we've been going through that, though I haven't actually focused much on service accommodation, though we did discuss 2 deals. They fell out in a very uncanny way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll focus on the block deals. And now I think yeah.
Let me share with you something. I want to share this with everyone because it needs to make sense, right? Sometimes especially when you're new to this, right, closing larger deals become more difficult. Okay. Now, even though I'm right beside you and I can help you close those deals, right? But at the same time, don't hesitate starting from single unit deals. Okay. As long as you're in the right region, and I'll give you an example. Okay. I had a call from a colleague of mine. This was about a year ago. He called me up because this is a company that I used to provide service to, a listed company. And he called up. He said that the daughter of the chairman is here. She's looking for a place near King's College. She's going there, and we are literally struggling to find anything. And he's prepared to pay. The CEO of the company is prepared to pay $350 a night, and they're going to book straight 12 months. 12 months. Imagine booking 12 months straight for $350 a night. Okay. And he was still struggling to find something decent, right? And he wanted something in walking distance. Point I'm trying to make for you is the right location can bring you massive profits. Like imagine the property that, if let's say I had a property on that day, and if let's say the cost to me was £250 a day, and I gave it at $350 a day, that's £100 a day in profits for straight 12 months. Okay, so the right location can bring you really decent profits, especially central London, near Heathrow, places with really, really high traffic. Brighton, one of the highest traffic beaches, like beach towns or whatever, in the country. Okay, one of the highest, not the highest. You need to be looking at very, very high traffic regions. Okay, and when you get that right deal, and then you say you got your first one and you got your second one, let's say you have 5 or 6 deals in a region with very, very high traffic, you can easily afford a manager. If a deal is making you.
Jack, sorry, one quick question. With SA, right? I've been talking to a few landlords, and I'm shadowing someone at the moment. He's got more HMOs, but obviously I want to focus on SAs. Can you get, if you're starting out in SAs, and then obviously you want to go into, well, that's what I want to do. What you want to do, what you're doing eventually, is if you wanted to get SA for your first one. A lot of people are doing it on rent to rent, but I want to try and do it on a management contract where you don't take the first month's deposit or the rent. Now, is that possible? Is that only possible after you've gained some?
Everything is possible. Everything is possible, Rajesh. It's not about how you structure a deal. Okay, it's about getting deals done. Okay. Just make sure that you are not losing out on the money that you could make being more creative. Okay, but at the same time, there's no harm in, if you're initially starting out and you have to sign a management deal, there's no harm in that. In fact, I have a member in our team that's actually doing that. He's signing up on management basis, and eventually when he's got more experience, he's going to start taking on more deals of himself. He's doing that as I speak. Okay, but there's no harm in that. The point I'm trying to make is, on a very high traffic region, even 5 deals, let's say each of them making you 2,000 net profit, 5 deals can make you 10 grand. So you can go and hire a manager at, let's say, 3,000 a month, and then still be very profitable. Does that make sense? Raise your hand.
Yes, absolutely.
So don't hesitate doing that. The reason I insist on block deals or bigger deals is because I see more profits, and obviously lucky enough that I've managed to get to a point where I'm experienced enough to be able to negotiate those deals and bring the money for the deals. Okay, so don't hesitate doing that, because like I said, the right deal in the right location, one deal can. In fact, I remember meeting someone. She had 2 units in central London, Chelsea to be precise. She was making £3,000 per unit in net profits. Okay, she had 2 units. I'm pretty sure she must have no more by now. But getting to a point where you have, let's say, 20 units or 30 units, it's not very difficult. Like, it's pretty easy. Finding deals, rent-to-rent deals, you can go on Spare Room. You can go on Open Rent. You can go on Facebook Marketplace. You can find these landlords who want to rent their properties out. You can even find it on Zoopla and Rightmoves. But they're not very difficult to find. Like, it's all about making calls, doing viewings, negotiating, knowing how to not rightly negotiate the deal, and just going with that.
Is it still worth doing rent to rent, Jack, or do you think it's saturated? Because a lot of people are doing it.
In the right location, Rajesh, in the right location. I keep insisting. In the high traffic regions, it still is worth it. It's literally, I know loads and loads of people who are making that money. Remember, I have 100 units under my management. I wouldn't be doing it if there was no profits.
What about HMOs? Do you think there's still money in HMOs?
I will not touch them at all. You have to give ASTs. Stay away from short hold tenancies.
So SA and hotel management will be much better.
It is. Anything that you have to issue an AST for, stay away. That's buy-to-lets, HMOs, or for that matter, anything that you have to sign an AST for.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Jack. That's really helpful.
Okay. So it literally is focusing on that. Like I said, within your journey, like if you want us to generate more leads for you, we can do that. If you want us to help you with a virtual assistant, you want us to, you want to come and shadow us and see us closing these deals, you can do that all the time. Okay. All you got to do is just send me a WhatsApp message. I'll take you through it, and you can do that. And if you don't want to join our franchise and still want to come and shadow me, come and work for me for free for some time, and then you'll see for yourself. Very, very simple, right? I have done that for other people. So I'm just sharing with you what I have done for other people, and then you can do it for me, or for that matter, anyone whosoever is experienced enough, right? Right, guys, I'm just going to go through everyone. Please, do you have any questions?
The shadowing will only be 2 hours a day anyway.
Yeah, I'll be interested for the shadowing.
Okay, just send me a message, please. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Sorry, Narinder, I couldn't hear you there.
I said the shadowing will only be 2 hours a day anyway.
Yeah,
but But that's 2 hours you're getting from someone who's very experienced, who's run
Yeah,
100
absolutely.
hotels.
What,
Yeah,
what
so
is
I'm talking about your
Nafisa,
time as opposed to
I'd be
Jack's
happy
time.
with an hour a week.
Here is a question. Here's a question I'm going to ask everyone, especially Nandisa, you.
Yeah.
What is it worth shadowing someone where you can? And I'm not gonna exaggerate. I'm just gonna give you a very simple example, right? Very simple, very small number. Okay. What is something worth shadowing someone who can make you 120 grand in a single deal, working 2 hours a day for 3 months? What is that worth? What is that worth?
People are charging 4 or 5 grand a month for shadowing.
Yeah,
What
but
is? Well, let me, Rajesh, just give me a second. What is shadowing worth if I can help close a deal that's going to make you 50 grand net profits, net rental profits, 50 grand per annum for the rest of your life?
it's priceless, I think. That's my own opinion.
What
And I've known
is
Jack
that
for a long
worth? Okay. So the question is, do you want to, you said open-minded. Are you open-minded to say, well, I'd like to do that? You want to do that? Come and shadow me, work for me for free a couple of months and see for yourself. You don't have to pay me a penny.
I'd be
Don't have to pay me a
interested
penny.
in that. I would be interested.
Okay.
And I've known you a long time, Jack. I know
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you.
I,
Yeah,
I may have come after a long time, but I known Jack for about 5, 6 years, and he
Yeah.
does exactly what he says in the tin. Unlike other property gurus,
Yeah.
I won't even call Jack a guru. I'd call him
Thank you.
an expert, an authority, and I really mean that.
Thank you, Rajesh. Again, like I said, it's not about you paying me anything. It's not. It literally isn't. It's about you making a decision, saying, "Well, this is what I want to do, and how can I make that happen? How can I make that happen?" And it's all about making it happen. It's all about closing deals. It's all about just literally saying, if I was to take me back into 2003, and I was 23 years old back then. I went to a seminar, I think it was Simon Zucchi's, and I came out with not enough, or for that matter, not a lot of value. Now, Simon Zucchi is a great guy, don't get me wrong. He's a great guy now. I don't know if he was back then, but he's a great guy. But I didn't get much value out of it. He was trying to sell something back then, a portfolio, whatever. But what would have been worth if I had shadowed him in 2003? I didn't. That was the wrong decision. So even if I had shadowed him for like a couple of days back then, my journey would have been faster, no doubt. Okay. So the question is, who is maybe 2 steps ahead of you, and how can I go and shadow that person? Okay. And if you don't have money in your pocket, doesn't really matter. You need to be just creative.
And it's different from mentoring, isn't it? Because shadowing, you're actually taking us through the steps, and we are copying what you're doing, and it's action and implementation execution.
I try and look for a word, but I just use the word shadow.
I think
see for yourself.
I think it fits it neatly, sums it up what you do, Jack.
Yeah. Again, when you will see the management that we have, the 100 units, and then the way when you see how it is structured and how everything is delegated, it will blow your mind away. Like literally looking at the book, which was written by Tim Ferriss, I think it was 4-Hour Work Week, right? And I remember reading that book back in the days, and I started thinking, how can I take that and implement it into the property space? And exactly what I'm doing, like literally everything is delegated, except the money part, which even a lot of that is delegated, but some of it I control. And making sure that the reviews are okay, the occupancy rates are okay. And that's all I do. And it is all delegated, most of it virtually delegated, operations guys, on ground housekeeping teams, all of that. And then what I tend to do is focus on, growing the franchise, focus on doing other deals behind the scene, focusing on creating SaaS models behind the scene. Like I said, we're working on 3 of them as I speak. We are creating prototypes. We are market validating the ideas. 3 different SaaS products being built as I speak behind the scene for our company. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because everything is delegated. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it. Okay.
Jack, I have one question.
Go on.
So if I find a property which is really below market and I want to really go for it, buy it. I know you do funding as well, right? Yeah, so I can borrow that money of you.
The question is, for the
We-
right deal, I can bring the money. Yes, for the
Correct.
right deal,
So
I
we
can
do
bring the
the
money.
data, we do the due diligence together. Sit on that, estimate how much money it's going to make,
Yes,
the rental value, or either we flip it or whatever. If I need that
yes,
money,
yes.
so how much is it going to be as compared to any bank?
So remember, I am not just that I'm a broker, I can bring equity into deals as well. Okay. Depending on the deal. Now, to give you an example, we got a deal done back in the days. This was, I think, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where it was the deal needed 4.2 million. The developer brought in 150 grand. I brought in 4.05 million into the deal, a combination of debt and equity. It was a 6 million GDV deal. Okay. That was me. So to give you an example, if let's say you brought in a deal that's 500,000 and it is discounted by, let's say, 30%. If it is less than 30%, it's not worth the deal, because you have to pay like 7-8% stamp duty. Okay. So then it's not worth it. So if let's say it's 30% or more discounted, let's say the purchase price is 500,000, it's worth, let's say, 650 or 7. We go in at 500. We only need anywhere between 10 to 25% deposit. Let's say even 25% deposit.
Mm-hmm.
75% is debt. So on the 25% on a 500, how much is that? 125 grand?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I come to you and say, well, this is our deal. You bring in 25 grand, I'll bring you the 100. And I'll bring you the debt as well. That's how we structure deals. You still
Okay.
gotta have some skin in the game. If you say no skin in the game, that becomes very risky. In that case, you'll only source the deal rather than become a part of it, as in profit, a part of the profits.
No, sourcing is
Okay.
like only you will earn
So if you,
like
yeah, so if you
2,000
want to be part of the profits, you have to have some skin in the game, and then we can bring the rest of the equity. But that's for the right deal.
So for the equity, you just explained as an example. What do I get then?
We can negotiate that. It's subject to.
It's all
It
about
depends on how much value you
negotiation.
bring.
Negotiate the deal.
Sorry, say that again.
Negotiate the deal.
Yeah, I'll be negotiating the deal with you based on who's going to bring what kind of value. Does the deal need refurb? Does it not need refurb? If it needs refurb, who's going to do the refurb? Who's bringing how much money? Who's negotiating the deal? Who's appraising the deal? Who's going to get the work done? Who's going to look after the sales? Who's going to look after the legals? The whole chain of things. And it all depends on who's going to do all the work. Does that make sense? Or let's say you do half of the work, we do half of the work. Negotiation is based on that. Does that make sense?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. I'll give you an example on a deal that I've done, and I might have shared this previously. It came to us, it was a 6-bed HMO, squatters in the property. The landlord was like 72 years old. He was struggling. We got the deal at 240. We charged the landlord 2% sales fee. So we charged the landlord £4,800. We sold that deal for 260 on a 20 grand overage. So all in all, we packaged the deal and we made £24,800 in sourcing fee. Okay. So we flipped that deal, didn't really do anything with it. The person who bought it, close friend of mine, he ended up investing 40 grand. So he bought it for 260, invested 40 grand plus the stamp duty, whatever, 310, 320. Now it's worth about 600,000.
Yeah.
He added an additional room to it. It was 6-bed HMO. He converted it into a 7-bed. He applied for planning, got the whole work done. I think it brings in like 60 grand gross, 20 odd grand in net profits in Romford. But the deal is worth 600 grand. So he made decent profit.
As compared to the banks, any bank, any challenger bank, what is your general interest rates on lending?
Depends on what kind of deal. If you're looking at buy to let, you're talking about 3.5%, 4.5%. If you're looking at HMOs, you're looking at 6%. If you're looking at, for example, we just got 2 commercial loans for blocks, as in service accommodation blocks. On one, we paid 6.49. On the second one, I think we paid 7.19.
Okay.
Okay. Development loans, bridge loans, they are standing at sort of 0.8, 0.85% per month. These are the ongoing rates at the moment.
Okay, 0.8, 0.85 for bridge loans, bridging
Yeah,
loan.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the advantage of coming this way is basically, you know, banks don't lend that much.
Yeah, so banks will lend you depending on the deal. So if it is a below market value deal, there are bridges out there that will lend you up to 90% of the purchase price. Okay.
Okay.
Not all, some bridges do. So imagine this deal that I'm looking at, 220 grand. I'm highly looking at a 90% loan on this. So I'll only need about 22 grand plus the stamp duty 13 grand, which is 35 grand in total, plus another maybe 5 to 10 grand in refurb. So we're looking at just shy of 50 grand for a deal like this.
Okay.
I am actually going to do another session where I'm going to talk about what I call the funding stack.
Yeah.
I think I've done one session previously like that, but I'm going to do another one because the market has changed a little bit. So I'm going to do another one, which is funding stack.
I'm very
how the
interested in
funding
that.
actually stacks. Yeah.
I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
I will do that. So, like I said, we literally bought 2 commercial properties now in the last sort of 6 months. So funding stack is a really good one. I think a lot of people struggle with that. I will do a session like that.
That's
Okay.
really nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
Unfortunately, I've got to leave. So thanks for your time. And
Thank you,
see you again
Narendra.
soon.
I think you know where I am. If you need any help, just give me a shout.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you, peace.
Thank you,
Rajesh,
Jack. Thank you so much.
Amy, thank you, guys. You need any help, just give me a shout. Have an absolutely beautiful evening.
Jack, before you go, when are you
Yes.
looking? How many people are you looking to shadow you? Are you doing one at a time, or is it?
I will be no. So when I do shadow, I kind of make sure there's at least 5 people.
Okay.
It's gotta be worthwhile the time. So
Yeah, I get it.
you are in the group, so you will see a message from me when I do a shadow day.
Okay, I'll be interested, and I'll have a look at your franchise thing because
And
I
I'm
think that.
interested as well in the shadow, Jack.
Yeah, no problem, peace. If you're in the group, you'll see me writing a shadow day. Not a problem. Peace, Rajesh, go and have a look at the franchise or the support
I will
services
do.
page. See if you see any synergy. Give me a shout. We'll go from there.
All right.
Okay.
If I don't see
Thank
you,
you.
wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Jack.
Thank you,
Thanks very
guys.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
you,
you.
Kemi. Thank you, Anil.
Bye. Yeah.
Anil, any
Thank you very
questions?
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.